Hey my friends, Ultimus here. For this video I figured I'd include some footage for my low level warrior. I've been leveling up a warrior on the Illidan server just to try to use my level 90 boost on so I could have a horde warrior as well as an alliance warrior for Warlords of Draenor. Thought it was about time to get a horde warrior back. Today's video I wanted to talk a little bit about a thread I stumbled upon on Reddit. A couple days ago I was just kind of cruising through the WoW section subreddit and I came across an interesting post. Now please do forgive me because I cannot for the life of me remember who the initial poster was, and so I cannot give credit. I tried finding it again but I couldn't find it, so super sorry about that. If you know who posted it, ended up seeing it, or able to find it, please do leave it in the comment section. That way the original writer of the topic would be able to get credited for it at least. I know it's a topic that's been around for a bit and people have been suggesting it for a bit, and so the reason I'm making a video on it is because first off, I myself am heavily interested in it, and I think it's one of those topics that if enough of us are talking about, posting about, bugging Blizzard about, we might actually see it implement. Now what I'm talking about has a lot to do with the class changes recently. Now especially this time around with Warlords of Draenor, so many things are gone and changed. Specifically talking about warriors, we don't even have Berserker stance anymore. Now Berserker stance has been in the game since vanilla. Berserker stance used to be a stance you had to go on a quest for, and you actually had to complete the quest in order to unlock Berserker stance. It was a pretty sweet quest line. If I'm not mistaken, the end of the quest you ended up in a ring doing a gauntlet style little survival type quest and a brawl type thing, and the quest giver, or the one who rewarded you at the end of the quest, was MacLeod, which was a Highlander reference. And so you had, after that, you got access to your Berserker stance, and it was cool. It used to be these stance that Fury would use. Of course, you know, through it since then, even just from expansion to expansion, we've seen so many changes come for each individual class. The back and the forth, like just between Mist of Pandaria now and Warlords of Draenor, we saw the removal of Ren, emphasis on deep wounds, and now that we're going back into Draenor, we now have no more deep wounds and we're back to stacking Ren. So again, just very, very different playstyle going back and forth. Things are here, things are gone. We no longer have Overpower. Overpower is one of those big skills that warriors have had since day one in the game. Overpower used to be a skill that only procced on dodges, and so it was your counter to rogues. Rogues were ruthless, but the reason warriors had one up on them or were able to combat them very well is because of Overpower. All that rambling as an introduction to say the original post that I stumbled upon on the WoW subreddit was basically the suggestion that what if there was a series of quests implemented that were unique to each class, and they could either be like challenge modes or they could be like the solo queue proving grounds where you had to go in and you had to complete each of them on a different difficulty. But this time around with these proving ground type things unique to each class, you would get a reward at the end. Now whether it unlocked a special spec for you or simply a title and maybe some transmoggable gear, obviously that would be up in the air and would be half the fun to discuss, but the point is that you would unlock something special for your class, and the point of these would be a series of quests that would take you along a little storyline that would explain the history and lore behind your class, what's changed, why it's changed, where your class has come from, and maybe just to see the history and appreciate a little bit of where your class has changed along the ways. And maybe at the end of it you'd be rewarded a title. Say for warriors you'd get the Blade Master, or for druids you'd get Archdruid, or things like that. For a priest you'd get High Priest, or things like that. I don't know, some type of unique title or things like that that are very closely attached to your class, as we're familiar with a couple archmages throughout the course of the game. If you're familiar with Warcraft 3, you'll remember Blade Masters. They were a special spec and they were just ruthless warriors, and so things like that could add a fun little tinge of history to your class. I think it would add some depth to gameplay. If anything else, it would just be kind of a fun little achievement to go after and hunt down just the titles. Titles are always fun, and just having that extra bit to do on your off time in between, say, arena matches or on off nights of raiding or whatever it may be. These could range in difficulty, obviously. I mean, You don't want it to be too hard, but you don't want it to be easy either. I just see it as being something that could be a whole lot of fun. I think it would be a cool aspect to the game, and again, I think it's worth talking about and bringing up because it could potentially be one of those things that if enough of us get talking about, then maybe Blizzard would actually implement it into the game. I don't know, just some ideas that are fun hashing out and thinking about and talking. I'd definitely love to hear what you guys would have to think about it, what you guys would have to say about it. A good idea, a bad idea, what would you do differently, what would you add as an incentive for a reward, are titles enough, transmogs, are they enough, I don't know. So I'd definitely love to hear what you guys have to say. Leave it in the comment section, and yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.